Welcome to another edition of Social Media Help Desk. I'm Rick Ormsby. We're here in Atlanta, and today with me is Princess Ruck. And we're going to be talking about some changes that are coming to some of your favorite social media platforms like Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram, along with some basic information about how you can use Pinterest to your advantage and how to get the best results from your video marketing efforts. So in the news recently, we found out that Instagram is going to be removing the Instagram TV icon. Now, a lot of people panicked about this, thinking Instagram TV is not going away, but that little icon that you've gotten used to seeing, that's starting to go to the wayside. And the reason why is quite simple, just not enough people were using it. Instagram found that people were finding Instagram TV directly through their feed, through the Explore tab, through creators' profiles, and through that standalone app itself. But the icon just wasn't doing enough. There was some concern that what is this going to do? Are people going to stop using it? Well, no, they weren't using that icon to begin with. When they first rolled out IGTV, Instagram was looking to compete with YouTube. What they found over time is that it hasn't been quite as successful as Instagram stories for people delivering their messages via video and for driving traffic. One of the big challenges they found is that users can't monetize. And so in that sense, it's a lot harder to compete with someone like YouTube. But with Instagram TV, again, it's still accessible. They're allowing users to create longer videos, which is the benefit as opposed to just putting an inline video in your regular Instagram feed. But one of the big challenges that Instagram TV faces is the explosion of TikTok. It's got 700 million downloads in 2019, whereas the Instagram TV app, the standalone app, it only had about 6 million. Have you had any experience working with Instagram TV?
Well, not direct experience, but I never used the button. So for them to take it away makes a lot of sense because I myself never used it. However, I did find a lot of my IGTV videos through the feed, through the Explore page. So a lot of their research that they're gathering back, at least I can speak for myself, is pretty accurate. The infamous TikTok is definitely taking over, and I'm not surprised that they're kind of crushing Instagram because TikTok is short, it's fun, it's a variety of different types of video in a minute. And it's amazing if you can squeeze whatever content you have into a minute compared to 25-minute long IGTV videos. Nothing wrong with that. But TikTok is entertaining, it's fun, it's it's lively, it's trending. So I think Instagram has their work cut out for them as far as that.
Yeah, I think that, like you said, having it accessible, people still can find it, they can use it, and really clearing that space off of the dashboard, making that real estate more valuable makes a lot of sense, and it's a good choice. But again, I think the big challenge is that at the moment, the shift has swung back away from longer videos. There's a lot of popularity for the shorter videos, which Instagram has already offered. So we'll see where the future is going to go from there. But don't worry if you're still a fan of Instagram TV, you can access it as you've always been able to. You're just not from that little button anymore.
That's a perfect example of how to not get too comfortable with social media trends. Like, it's up and down. Before it was long form video was the thing, and now it's like
it's important to stay up to date with the times.
Yep.
And speaking of staying up to date, Twitter has made some new changes as well. In October, we spoke about how they were starting to institute some options to hide replies. And this goes back to many of the efforts we've seen across all social media platforms to limit bullying, make social media a friendlier place, a safer space for conversation, and to reduce or just encourage positive behavior and reduce negative or toxic behavior. Calvin Bakebour, who's the product lead at Twitter, he announced recently that they'd be limiting the number of replies that a tweet can receive, or really giving the user the option to limit the number of replies. And the whole point is to reduce aggressive comments. One of the big strengths that Twitter brings to the playing field is that it is an amazing outlet for conversations, and they really were careful. They don't want to take away from the magic that exists in the reply section. You post out a tweet, and now you can engage with the whole world. But what they've also found is that what gets the most reach and the most popularity is oftentimes something that's stemming from a place of outrage or negative topics. So there is an unspoken rule on Twitter that if you're overly negative, if you're overly abusive, your credibility is going to go down. And in an effort to make things safer for everybody and more pleasant, they've put in some limits. So in this case, you can still get your message out, but the idea is getting your message out there without receiving that overwhelming backlash from the rest of the populace. And there's 4 options you can use There's a global option, which allows anyone to reply, which is the way it's always been.
Mm-hmm.
There's a group option, where anyone that you follow or anyone that you mention can leave a reply. There's a panel, which is only people that were mentioned in that specific tweet have the ability to contribute to the conversation.
Nice.
And then finally, a statement, where if you choose that option, there's no replies whatsoever.
Nice. I think that's really interesting that they've kind of created tiers to the dialogue on Twitter. I think that's going to be effective not just to prevent like bullying, but like for businesses, if you want to host like a digital panel and like have people among that you've collaborated with to have discussions. I think there could be many breakouts to this new update. But I think it's a great step towards monitoring and minimizing negative comments and bullying, because Twitter can be a dark place. So I think this is.
And it can also be a really good place to bring everybody together and have that environment for open discussion. But sometimes if you are an individual that has a very big following, you can lose those replies. There's too much activity going on. So have the ability to make a panel where the value is coming in, not necessarily in engaging, but then reading what people that you're following have to say. There's a lot of strength there. And so again, giving control back to the user is what's really key here. The fact that there's more than one option, and that you can limit those replies not off of, I only want 5 replies, but I only want these 5 people to be able to reply. Really any efforts that are being made to improve the user experience is ultimately a good thing, although the changes can take some time to get used to. But making that effort to bring people back to Twitter, and particularly this day and age, again, when you've seen those slew of aggressive comments, this is showing that Twitter is making that effort to keep people on their platform and to provide the type of tools and resources their users are asking for. And I think in the long run, it's really going to keep the platform healthy and bring in more people over time.
Absolutely. I agree.
Pinterest also is in the news with some more good news about making social media and online communities just that much better. They have a feature called the Compassionate Search, which we spoke about in a blog and a discussion all the way back in July of 2019 when it was first announced for the US alone. And what Compassionate Search is it's a search engine that automatically suggests emotional well-being activities to people that might be searching for phrases signaling signs of anxiety, stress, or just general bad feeling.
Nice.
So if you're seeing things, if you're searching for things like suicide or bulimia or cutting, then that will trigger this system that Pinterest put in place with the help of a variety of charitable and self-help and well-being resources like Samaritans, Vibrant Emotional Health, and the National Suicide Hotline. Sometimes it might be a suggestion as simple as just take a deep breath, or it could provide resources and outlets to foster a healthier outlook as opposed to going down this dark path. Now again, one thing that's key is that Pinterest is very adamant about saying that this is not meant to replace professional help, and they are advocates of seeking professional help if you are in crisis. But the point here is that there is an effort being made, and they started making this effort because the creators noticed there was just an unreasonably high number of searches around things like suicide or mutilation, and they're trying to make this an added feature to help their users that they're clearly struggling, sometimes silently, with issues of mental well-being.
Yeah, I'm shocked to know that there was an unusually high amount of searches for that particular sector, but it's also very heartwarming to know that Pinterest is doing this. It's like a silent, you're not alone, here's something, to kind of help relieve you of that. And I think that's just a great initiative on their part to create a trigger that automatically sends like positive content their way to help combat that. So I think that's amazing. This is the first time I've ever heard of a platform doing something like this.
Right.
So this is innovative on their part, a great social move, and just a really good move for as far as like humanity, to show people like we care not just about traffic and you being on our platform, but we care about your well-being. So go Pinterest.
They started in July of last year here in the U.S. and it's become so successful that they've branched out to 9 more countries, including the United Kingdom, Ireland, Canada, Australia, Singapore, India, the Philippines, Hong Kong, and New Zealand will all have access to this feature in 2020.
That is really cool.
I think it's a good plan on Pinterest's part. It's surprising that how, with as popular as Pinterest is, some people are still learning the best there. And with that, we're going to transition into how you can use Pinterest and using pins to tell your story. So Pinterest is one of those social media platforms that my wife introduced me to, because it was just not something that was the first time I saw it. And if you're not familiar with it, as I wasn't a few years back, it's a place where people can come together and share pins, creative ideas. It's basically a search engine where you can get ideas for your goals, for design, styles, quotes, recipes, anything you can think of in almost like an old school bulletin board or pin board. As of 2019, they had more than 235 million users, so it's absolutely, well, it's not quite the 2.3 or 2 point some billion people on Facebook. There's still a substantial number of people on Pinterest, and more businesses and organizations are starting to look to Pinterest as a way to tell their story. How does it work? Well, it's basically creating a board and then finding pins that are explaining what you do, what you're like, what you're interested in. It doesn't always have to necessarily be the products themselves. Sometimes it can be a theme that relates back to your products, or it can be places where you've gotten inspiration for your product, your style, your design. But it's about building a community and providing design inspiration to that community.
Absolutely. I have a Pinterest, but it's more so, of course, for personal use, and I have like a number of boards, and I use it a lot for inspiration. If I need inspiration for work, or like creative ideas, I'm trying to work on a new project at home. So it's definitely a great place. I see it as like a third search engine in a way.
Right.
It's a great aesthetic search engine. So it has everything from like tech, beauty, cooking, DIY, home decor. Like it's everything. So I think every business can benefit in some way with Pinterest, especially if you're like a really big aesthetic company. You're really big on visuals and telling your story through visuals and appealing to your audience in their visual nature. So,
and particularly if you have in those B2C instances, or if you have a product you're looking to sell, Pinterest can be a place where people can share testimonials. So it's an outlet to foster that behavior and that user-generated content. And Pinterest says that 83% of users make purchases based on the content that brands share. So whether it's your own content or something that you'd like them to start buying, like maybe you have a new line of a clothing item that you can start getting people buzzing about just flip-flops in general before you then unveil your particular brand of flip-flops that you're looking to push out this spring break.
There's many outfits I found on Pinterest that I like to buy. It's hard on Pinterest because sometimes they don't have the links to the clothes, and it's so frustrating. But it's a great place if you have a clothing line, a shoe line, makeup. Definitely you could profit off of posting on Pinterest for sure. And linking to your website, that's the key to drive that traffic and monetize.
Now, in terms of a little bit more the traditional digital marketing that people are used to, video is our next segment. We're going to look for some ways to boost your digital marketing results.
Absolutely. One of my favorite topics of all time. So we all know how important video is, how important video is important and powerful it's becoming. I think it's getting more and more powerful each year. There's a new phenomenon every year. TikTok being the prime time kid right now. But one thing about video that I love, it sparks emotion. It makes you feel things that other forms of content may not necessarily make you feel on such a high magnitude. Video just does it in a more compelling way, I like to say. And it's expected to continue to rise. So in 2022, 82% of all consumer internet traffic is projected to come from online videos. So compare that to the traffic that's coming from video right now in 2020. That's only going to get even more like astronomically huge in 2022, which I can't even think about. So to bounce off of that, I'm going to give you a few ways to incorporate video into your digital marketing strategy and some ideas on how you can use video. So the first one is brand awareness. This is the easiest one to start with because it's like your building block. Think of like a book. Every book has a cover. Every book has a title. So every video marketing strategy, I think, needs a brand awareness campaign. Just something simple, fundamental to share your business organization's mission, your values, your culture, show the face behind the brand. This is the time to do that. And I think the companies that take the time to create that brand awareness stream of videos, they do really well moving forward.
Well, again, too, with video, it's more than just text or an image is going to provide. Getting people's faces on the pages. It's been shown that a human face and eyes in particular are going to draw the viewer's eyes back in. Images are a great place to start, but video gives you that added dynamic of the audio, being able to see someone's face, hear their voice, see them move. All of these things may sound subtle and simple, but they are very powerful in creating connection with your audience. So when you're looking to build authenticity, credibility, and make some sort of human, personal connection, video is absolutely the way to go. And there are just so many outlets to use it.
Oh yeah, and so many places you can put video. So many more platforms are becoming video friendly.
Right.
Like LinkedIn has been one of the new kids on the block that's really like, we're welcoming native video. So more and more platforms are adjusting to how powerful video can be.
Right.
And so I think that's really important to keep in mind. The next one is demos. We all love tutorial videos and how-to videos. Those type of videos, especially if you're a product-based business, are a great way to show how to use your product, why it's valuable, how to apply it, best ways to use it. I think companies like tech or beauty and plenty of other businesses really benefit from demo or unboxing style videos. So yeah.
Well, and another thing to think about with the demo, so we can box ourselves into just the product alone. But the other aspect is, if you're providing a service, maybe it's a service someone's unfamiliar with, or they're not aware they need, or they don't know what they're supposed to bring with them on their first day. So if you're in a service industry, sometimes having a walkthrough video, going ahead and showing the end user what they're going to experience, and if it's not a large chain, but a local business where you are the one or two chains available, showing the people that your customers are going to interact with, showing their faces and voices, letting your customers meet them and become comfortable with them before they come in and take advantage of your services is key, and can sometimes be the difference between going with you and going with a competitor who is offering that introductory or walkthrough video. Yeah,
that's a really good point, because if you think about, maybe intimidating industries like law or medical or dental, it's more comforting to walk into the office and be like, oh, I saw Mary on YouTube. Hi, Mary, I have my appointment today. It just kind of, softens the blow, eases the daunting, feeling of going in for those type of things or those complex situations, which leads into the next style of videos, which is animation. Animated videos are a great way to explain complex industries or products in a simple, easy way. They're really good for helping people grasp what your business is about in a quick 2-minute video, 5-minute video, 1-minute video, but in a fun, lighthearted way. We all love visuals, we love animation, we love cartoons, we love things like that. So being able to take a really hard, difficult to understand on a typical day to something that's really light and easy and easily comprehensible is a great way to do that. And one of my favorite quotes is like an Einstein quote. If you can't explain it in a sentence, you don't understand it.
Right.
And so I kind of relate that to this. Like, just animated videos just help you condense a really complex subject.
Absolutely. Condense it and make it easier to understand. And that's really key if you're in any sort of industry that is selling a package of services, something that's going to take effect over time, or a series of systems that are put together. Sometimes having an animated infographic, being able to show the growth and change that you're going to provide for the end user is much easier and sometimes more cost effective to build than to say following a case study with a client that can take 6 months to come to fruition. So again, if you're in an industry where capturing that moment or that service in real time isn't an option, there again, there's another way to still get there with video, and that's through those animations and infographics.
Absolutely. I love how video, it's free for all. You have so many options and so many ways to get your message and your story out there. It's just a matter of being creative and just doing it. You mentioned customer testimonials earlier, and that is actually one style of video. Customer testimonials are a great way to help show that your product or service has helped someone solve their unique problem or challenge. And as opposed to using like a testimonial graphic, you can show that customers like their happiness, them smiling while talking about you and your business, or even them getting emotional talking about your business or service, and just maybe seeing the tears compared to a graphic. You know what I mean? So that has more power and emotion behind seeing that customer testimony and them telling their story about you. It's just, it does a little bit more. Yeah,
and again, it allows the viewer to see themselves in the video as well. And if you're really key, you can work in your team and your clients together. I think we've talked before about Chick-fil-A and the Chick-fil-A videos. It's a perfect example where you're representing your business and your real customers, and that way you're sharing that relationship that's been formed and the value it has, and it's building trust with new people that maybe haven't engaged with your business yet.
Absolutely, and it's a great way to further build that credibility without you talking about yourself. Like us, you're letting other people do the talking for you, which is a great way to build social proof, and that's something we really champion here at KWSM. So the next one would be one of my favorites, but not many other people's favorites, is live video. It can be very intimidating, but I love live video because of the natural, authentic nature of it. Like it's kind of just, you turn it on and you just go. There's no cuts, there's no breaks. But it's a great way to let your audience interact with you live,
Right.
and then you can directly interact with them live as well.
That's right.
It just creates that genuine personal relationship a lot quicker than other types of content that I don't really see anywhere else. And it makes your customer, audience, client feel a lot closer to you. I think it's really natural.
And it allows it to be like an exclusive event, almost like going to a concert as opposed to just putting a CD in.
Exactly.
If you're going to host something like a webinar, you could just as easily put together an online video and post it up. But if you share it as a live event, something that you're going to promote in the days and weeks beforehand, where you can sell tickets for, or if it's a free event, just trying to get viewers to come in, it allows them to experience that live moment, that being in the direct connection as it's happening, as opposed to just watching a recorded video. And again, too, once it's done, you can still take that live video and then share it on a variety of channels and for a variety of marketing purposes.
For sure. One way I've also seen people use live videos kind of like behind the scene teasers, like leading up to an event. Hey, this is what we're doing, in the background. We can't wait to see you guys at the event. It's a great way to get people excited, amped up. It makes them feel like they're peeking behind the curtain. So anything that'll make people excited or anticipating something is always good. People love excitement and emotion. Speaking of events, the last one is an event recap video. So if your company is known for attending a lot of videos, workshops, speaking engagements, videos are a great way to recap those. Or if you want to record at the event and then cut and show highlights, do promo videos, montages. It's a great way to show your company out in the community, staying top of the mind of your industry, letting your audience know that you guys are always trying to stay up to date on your industry. It's a great way to just show them you doing the work as an expert, to make sure you know your stuff and capturing those moments. So
absolutely. And another value with the event recap too is sometimes that can be used as you're promoting, if it's a recurring event, taking moments from that, you can use those to promote your next event the following year. And it also is an excellent way to then help your own team get into that mindset before the day begins, before the event begins.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, people do business with people. So if you don't remember anything else, remember that video is a great way to capture your audience and attract them, because they get to see you, and people love people. So. And
if you need any help with your video marketing strategy, or actually capturing the video yourself, by all means, please reach out to KWSM, a digital marketing agency. Visit our website, kwsmdigital.com. Take a look at our services. We're here to help you tell your story and develop the appropriate marketing and video strategy that you need to meet your goals. And with that, I have to say thank you, and we'll see you next time.